Working for Meghan Markle, you better be careful, 100%. As ever, let me explain. Morning, how are you? Nice to see you. Thank you so much as ever for joining me on a very, very chilly day over here in the very heart of London. I have to say, we must thank all those celebrities like Carol Vorderman that pushed forward for us all to be freezing, particularly if you're elderly and you've now missed out on that winter fuel allowance. As you can understand, it was Carol pushing hard to make sure that we got the previous government out. Now, all governments never really look after any of us, do they? But let's be honest, at least they were going to keep the winter fuel allowance. And when it's chilly, you look at these people that, well, are very rich with second homes and mega salaries and big pensions, and they're telling you how you're supposed to suck it up while they decide, of course, to live in luxury. You get the picture. Now, moving forward, let's get back to your royal story of the day, because if you remember when Meghan Markle was blasted and casted by none other, of course, than the Hollywood Reporter. Remember that? Well, the Hollywood Reporter, of course, decided that she was a demon duchess, diva in high heels, all that sort of stuff. And the editor literally went on camera to say that, they got all signed affidavits and basically pointed out how difficult it was to work for the former royals. Now, where it was really interesting, and this is very telling that a lot of people have actually now forgotten about, is simply this. You see, when he went on camera, the one thing that he'd pointed out was that, yes, they had all these signed affidavits, including from one person that still worked inside the confinements of the Montecito mansion at Archwell. Now, I told you before, this has proven a very niggling point for La Markle, simply because, of course, she wants to know exactly who the person is. Now, as I've told you, many people who've been working inside simply before the Markles themselves, what's been fascinating is the way that Meghan operates. When she tells you off, it's very much a low voice and very much a sort of, how can I put this nicely? It's in a lower key register, so you talk very loudly, but then when you say, I'm keeping quiet because I don't want the rest of the team to know just how difficult you are, that's a definite spin right back at you. And as ever, allegedly, this is apparently how she operates. So Harry, of course, never naturally hears any of that context. And it's something that, I've mentioned clearly before. But if you are now working for the Markles, Archwell, whatever you want to call it, well, apparently Meghan and Harry are going to root out this spy because they believe that this is another source who's decided once again to drop these totally untrue in their, point, stories about them to Vanity Fair. It doesn't really matter, does it, whether they find the mole or not. The bottom line is the damage is done. And as I've said to you before, whether you are with Meghan and Harry or against them, they've donated some money, we don't know how much, but some money to the relief fund. But all of that gets swept under the carpet because, of course, sort of salacious gossip actually outsells good deeds. It's a sad, tragic tale, but that's what happens. But apparently Meghan has now found the person that she believes is that individual that's been leaking out all of these negative stories. And all I can say is that she better be sure, because basically if you accuse somebody in this climate and you get it wrong, they are going to escalate into, well, how would that feel and how will it look? Do you know what I'm saying? But according to the source literally out there, Meghan feels the only way to clear this mess up about the damage limitation, reputational damage that's happened to her and Harry, but predominantly her, is to oust this spy. And apparently she's days away. Neil Sean, Kensington, London.